So you finally decided to ditch your financial advisor selling you mutual funds that have crappy returns and fees over 2% in most cases, or you're completely new at investing and you decided to do it yourself completely right off the bat. Well, good for you. Congratulations. You decided to be master of your domain, queen of the castle, lord of the manor, and become a do-it-yourself investor. The very first step is always the hardest step, right? So do-it-yourself investing has never been easier and more accessible than it is today with the numerous online investing brokers out there that have very, very low fees. Some of them have no fees at all. It's as easy as opening an Amazon or a online banking account, right? So you open your account. Now the $1 million question is, what's next? What do you invest in? So of course you start researching the internet or YouTube like everyone else, and then the floodgates open, right? Growth stocks, dividend stocks, blue chip stocks, penny stocks, ETFs, passive index ETFs, actively managed ETFs, closed-end funds, REITs, bonds, fixed income, preferred shares, options trading, leverage, Canadian stock market, US stock market, emerging markets. There's a lot, right? There's hundreds, if not thousands of websites and articles and TV shows, blogs, investing gurus, investing seminars, investing courses. Oh, and a little thing called crypto, right? Bitcoin and Ether and crypto scams, people getting rich quickly, people losing it all. I know it could be very, very overwhelming. Trust me, I've been investing on my own for 10 years and there's a lot to learn and digest. So most people think of investing as black and white, right? They're really looking for what is the best stock or the best ETFs to invest in. What I learned after 10 years is that the best does not exist. What's best for you and your situation is really all that matters and what you should be looking for. So the very first important lesson that I learned is the difference between investing and speculating. Very, very different. And unfortunately, speculating gets a lot of the attention and it scares a lot of regular people from ever even looking at the stock market, which is a huge, huge mistake. The stock market could actually be a very, very boring place. Speculating is gambling. Investing is, well, investing. So what I learned is that there's really three styles of investing: growth, dividend, or income. All three strategies work long term. All three strategies invest in similar companies, but it's how you get your return that's different. But even when you decide on a strategy that works best for you or a combination of strategies, there's still a million stocks and ETFs to choose from, right? Well, this is where my digital product comes in, the ultimate DIY investing package version 4 that will save you countless hours of research, which I already did for you in the last 5 years, and will help you to build your own perfect portfolio according to your needs and nobody else's without picking and choosing individual stocks. So I'm against right now picking individual companies. I feel it's unnecessary with all the great choices we have, all the ETFs we have out there. Not only that, but picking individual companies or stocks just gives you more risk because it's one company and no matter how amazing the company is, there's still that single point of failure. So this is why my product has no more single companies at all going forward. So I'm very excited to take you on a tour of my product version 4. I'll show you all the changes, all the upgrades that I made from the last version. I know many of you have been waiting a long time for this upgrade. So let me show you exactly what this product is all about. I'll take you on a tour of it. I'll show you exactly what you're going to get if you decide to purchase it. So there's no surprises. And after showing you the product, I'll tell you how to purchase it, where to purchase it, and how to access it as well. Let's get started. All right, everyone, I will take you on a tour of the product now. I'm very excited to show you. Let me make it a bit bigger. Of course, it's going to offset everything, but that's okay. So this product, keep in mind, everyone, this is their spreadsheets, right? So this is an Excel file. You need Microsoft Excel to open it. But if you don't have Microsoft Excel on your computer, don't worry. I'll show you another way to open it later on in the video. So this is basically the landing page. It'll give you a description of what the product is and the 7 tabs, right? If you look at the bottom here, everyone, there's actual different tabs which you're gonna have to click through, and then you click on this little arrow to go all the way to the end and to scroll through the tabs. But it's very important you understand that there's 7 tabs here. So the first tab is going to be the ETFs and ETNs. So this is a list of 200 plus ETFs and ETNs on the Canadian and US stock markets. Tab number 2 are the closed-end funds. Tab number 3 are the split share funds. These are Canadian products, right, on the Canadian stock market. Tabs number 4 and 5 are what I think is the best part of this product, the sample portfolio. So you have completely refreshed and revamped portfolios, which I'll show you. So there's 10 sample portfolio totals for Canadian. So these obviously are going to all be funds on the Canadian stock market. You have the exact same thing, the exact same outline and structure in tab number 5. And these are for the Americans, right? For you guys who invest on the US stock market. Tab number 6 is a blank portfolio template, which kind of looks like the one I use. It's basically identical. So that's if you want to use mine. Or what I use, I put a blank version there so you could use it. And tab number 7 is just a list of very popular online brokers on both the Canadian side and the US side, as well as my, of course, $50 Quest Trade offer code, which is the broker that I currently use. So let me go through the tabs one by one here. I apologize if it's a bit small. I'll make it a bit bigger for you here. Although it kind of looks like, you won't see all of it now, but it's okay. So for the first 3 tabs are really the lists of funds, everyone. This is if you want to do your individual research on specific funds here. It took a long time for me to put this together, and there's important reminders and observations for all 3 of the first tabs. I strongly suggest you read it here, but I'll go through how I organized it here. So first you have, obviously you have over 200 here. So you have the fund manager, right, who manages the fund, the ETF, of course, because this is the ETF tab. You have the name of the ETF, the stock symbol of the ETF, and very convenient, all of them are hyperlinks to the fund's website, official website. That's where you should be doing your research, not Motley Fool or Seeking Alpha or Yahoo or Google. Always on the fund's website. So I actually had to do these manually one by one to set the link. So they should all work. I mean, if the fund changes their website, it's not my fault, but I recently verified all of them. They should all work and bring you to the homepage of the ETF. This is a very important filter. And by the way, all these are filters here. You could filter from, if you want to see only BlackRock or only the Amplify, you take out the other check mark. So you could easily filter what you want to see by every single category here. So US listed stock means, if it's listed on the US stock market. So if you're American and you don't want to see any Canadian stuff, well, in that case, you just click here, use the filter, and you make sure the yes is turned on, is checked, but you simply uncheck the blanks. If you uncheck the blanks, well, then you're only going to see the ones that have a Y here, which means it's listed on the US stock market. And of course, the opposite is true. If you just want the Canadian ones, well, you uncheck the Y and you check the blanks, blank, which means it's only going to show the Canadian ones. So very, very useful in case, you only want to see one or another. But for now, I'll just put them back to on. Both of them. Covered call strategy. Does the ETF use a covered call strategy, which is my portfolio's bread and butter? It's an income enhancing strategy. So if you don't want to see any covered call strategy ones, obviously you take out the Y. If you only want to see the covered call ones, you take out the N. As simple as that. Management fee, the dividend payout, right? Monthly, quarterly, annual, etc. Sector and region, 2 very important filters if you want to search ETFs with a particular sector or a particular region. So these are useful filters. Major index. So if an ETF follows, let's say, a major index like the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ or the TSX 60, that's where you'll have it here. So if you're just looking for something that has S&P 500, well, you would uncheck everything and just click S&P 500, right? And only the S&P 500 ETFs will show up. So, you got to learn to play around with the filters here, but it's really, really not hard. Even if you're not tech savvy, don't worry, you'll get the hang of it. Yahoo Finance stock lookup. So this just brings you to, it's basically to get a quick stock quote on Yahoo Finance. Yes, you could see the yield as well, but I never trust the yield on these websites. I always calculate the yield myself. The next 3 here are if you want to filter by strategy. So for every single ETF, everyone, I put a Y or a yes, depending what kind of strategy it follows. So if it's a growth, for example, a passive index ETF, or it's, one of Kathy Wood's ARK Invest, these are really designed for growth. So you're going to have a Y here. If it's designed for income and growth, or basically dividend, a little bit of both, you're going to have a Y here. And if it's primarily designed for income, which is what the stuff I invest in, you'll have a Y here. So you could actually filter with these 3. So if you want just growth, for example, you would leave the Y, but you would take out the blanks, right? And you will get only the ETFs that are designed for growth, right? Same thing for the other ones. If it's a highly recommended fund, whether it's growth, dividend, or income, if it's highly recommended, I think it's a really good one, I will put it here, and I'll typically put a little one-liner of why, right? Yes, because it's income and diversified, right? Why is a good example. Or Devo is also recommended. because because it has a high total return. So I like to tell you which ones I feel are good, but remember, these are my opinions. And then of course you have details and comments for each one. These are actually my personal, I wrote them out personally. Some of them, of course, I took it from the fund's website, I copy pasted it, but I'm trying to give you an overview or a detailed overview of what the ETF has. And if there's another ETF that's similar to it, for example, I say here also see CEFD. So this is just my personal comments for each one, which I took time to do for all 200 of them plus. So this is the outline, everyone. And this is just getting started. This is the ETFs and ETNs. Tab number 2, closed-end funds. Same style of outline here, same filters, but these are the closed-end funds. A lot more on the US stock market. So most of these are going to be on the US stock market. Split share funds. Now these are exclusive on the Canadian stock market, and I made some updates to this column, including a risk rating system. So I spent a lot of time making a risk rating system on each split fund. So is it low to medium, medium, high to avoid? So keep in mind the risk rating system is really, it's not risk of stock quality because they're all blue chip stocks, but it's the risk of maybe missing dividends and sector concentration. So for example, if they're all financial stocks and they have US banks and Canadian banks, the concentration risk is a bit higher because it only focuses on financials. But SBC is still low because it's the big 6 Canadian banks and it rarely missed a dividend ever. So the risk rating system really depends on several things, but it's mostly for dividend misses. And keep in mind, these are my opinions. And of course, these are blacked out because obviously I want you to buy the product. I'm not going to show it to you here. Also, you have annual management fee, the NAV threshold for the dividend payout, right? So the unit NAV has to be $15. They're pretty much all $15 except for a couple of them. Annual dividend rate, of course, sector region is still here. Number of stocks, dividend misses, so a little bit more details compared to the ETFs and closed-end funds, a little bit more details specific to split funds here. Dividend misses, how many dividends have they missed so far out of total months that it's been the fund has been active? So this gives you a good indication on possible dividend misses in the future. If it's highly recommended or not, of course, these are my opinions. Is there a similar or a better split fund alternative? If there is one, I put them here. And also, if you're scared of split funds, but you like the portfolio, is there an ETF alternative where you don't have to worry about missing dividends? So many of these split funds have really good ETF alternatives. This is where I'll put them here. And of course, my personal comments for each one. So I took a really long time to do these lists of funds here. But this is really if you want to do your individual research. Now the sample portfolios, tab 4 and 5, that for me is the crown jewel of this product. So I will show you how I organize them, completely refreshed and revamped from version 3. You have 10 sample portfolios total. And I'll show you exactly what I did here. And they're basically the Canadian sample portfolios, the US sample portfolios have the exact same format, the exact same portfolio. So portfolio, the first 3 are going to be the income ones. So portfolio 1 is income, portfolio 2 lower risk income, portfolio 3 is aggressive income. So they're all income focused, and you need to please read the description for each one. I took the time to put a description, so it tells you, gives you an overview of what the portfolio is and if it matches your personality as well. And in both tab 4 and 5, my favorite income-oriented funds are highlighted in gold. So the gold ones are my favorite funds, just like the description says here. So how did I organize them? And keep in mind, a lot of it is blacked out simply because, obviously, again, I want you to purchase the product here. I'm not going to show you everything. So you have the name of the fund. If there's a star, it means the fund uses a cover call strategy. If there's a dollar sign, it means the fund uses leverage. If there's both, the fund uses both. Type of fund, is it an ETF? Is it a split fund? It is a CEF, which stands for closed-end fund. The stock symbol, once again, you click, brings you to the fund's website. This is brand new here, alternative option. So if there's an alternative option, so if there's an ETF that's very, very similar, same holding, same strategy from another provider, I'll put it here. I want to give you as much options as I can here. Fund details, this is a one-liner of what the fund holds. So I typically like to say sector and region it covers. Also, if it's a fund of a fund, for example, an all-in-one closed-end fund here, all-in-one covered call ETF, if you put your mouse cursor over it here, I actually write what are the 7 ETFs, for example, in HDIV. So very, very convenient. And this is probably going to be the most important column. It's the investment percentage. So this is what's going to help you to allocate your money. So if you whether you have 100,000, a million, 50,000, right? If you have 100,000 and I say put 3% in ZWC, well, I'm telling you to basically put $3,000 in ZWC. If it says 10%, I'm telling you put $10,000 in HDIV. So of course, I'm aiming for balance and diversification at all times here. And of course, the total is always going to be 100. But keep in mind, these are my opinions, everyone. You could play around with the numbers. You can modify them. As long as you get to 100, you're good, right? So this is obviously, you could customize them however you want by playing around with the percentage. Now, also new in this version, very excited, I have streamlined versions for a few portfolios. So this portfolio here, portfolio 1, has 23 holdings, but it has a lot of stuff. It has some niche stuff as well. What if you're someone who just wants a much smaller and leaner portfolio, but wants to still have that diversification? Well, I made streamlined versions for portfolio 1, 2, and 7. So portfolio 1 streamlined has 13 holdings instead of 23. Same thing for portfolio 2, which is the lower risk income one. And another thing I forgot to mention. So the yield targets for each portfolio, I have a yield target. And keep in mind, these are basically minimum yields. I would say it's lower, on the low end during a normal market conditions, right? Of course, it's an approximate. So if the market starts going down, like it has in the last couple of months, with this portfolio, you'll probably get closer to 9 or maybe even 10, right? So keep in mind, these are really the minimum yields you get. That's why I put, 8% plus. It's just an estimate. So lower risk income here in green, you have really the ETFs and funds. Basically, I'm telling you that they focus more on defensive sectors, or it's more defensive. So once again, you got to read the description for each one. But if you're going to be an income-oriented investor, do what I do. I typically recommend portfolio 1 or 1 streamlined for 99% of people. But portfolio 2, if you're really scared, if you're older and you're on a fixed budget, might be for you. Aggressive income, if you're looking for more yield. So obviously you're going to have a lot more split funds. You're going to have higher yield. It's a little bit more aggressive, but typically I recommend portfolio 3, maybe when you have at least 1 year experience with portfolio 1, but it's up to you. Some people start with aggressive income. Aggressive might not be the best word, but it might be higher income, but you're going to get, I'm aiming for 10% plus here. So the first 3 are the income oriented ones. Portfolio 4 and 5 are the growth oriented ones. So 4, you're going to be looking at basically very mainstream, popular index funds. This is the most popular and mainstream way of investing. So you'll get, mostly Vanguard stuff here. If you want just pure passive index growth ETFs. Portfolio 5 is called aggressive growth. So you'll have the passive index ETFs like portfolio 4, but I also added some stuff like emerging markets, maybe some emerging sectors like blockchain, green energy. So I added a little bit more things that are really, hyper growth potentially. So this has a little bit more of speculative stuff, and is a lot more tech heavy as well. So if you're interested in that, some people are. 6 is my dividend focused portfolio, or the dividend growth portfolio. So this is if you want to be a dividend investor. So you want dividend ETFs, or ETFs that hold exclusively dividend stocks without the covered calls. So if you don't want the covered calls, if you want that organic growth and dividend growth, portfolio 6 would be for you. Again, read the description for each one. I took time to make them as well as the notes at the bottom here for each one. And portfolio 7 is, I call it the all-dressed one. So after doing hundreds of consultations, of one-on-one coaching sessions, a lot of people who are just starting really don't know if they want to be an income investor, growth investor, or a dividend investor. So this all-dressed portfolio is basically all 3 strategies mixed. It's like 33% income, 33% growth in green, and 33% dividend in blue. And there's a streamlined version as well. So this is really, if you're starting, you don't know which one to go for, which strategy you like better, go for all 3, try it out for a year, and then maybe you'll know. So again, read the notes here for each one. So these are the sample portfolios, 10 total. I've been tinkering on them for the last couple of months for hours and hours and hours to try to make them perfect for you. And keep in mind that tab number 5, the US sample portfolios, the exact same outline, the exact same portfolios as well: income, lower risk income, aggressive income, etc., etc., etc. So the same exact outline and structure, except these are all on the US stock market. And of course, once again, in orange or in gold here are my favorite funds. So really, really cool. This is really, what most people like and what most people get the product for. the sample portfolios. I'm always looking to keep upgrading and updating for each version. This is why, you know, this product comes with lifetime updates. You only have to purchase it one time. You'll always get the later version. So that's a very, very strong point of this product as well. So tab number 6, not portfolio 6, is simply just a template if you want to use the template that I use in Excel. And tab number 7 is a list of brokers. So some on the US, some on Canada. And of course, you get the Questrade code here, offer code PASSIV50, because to get $50 off. Questrade is the one I use, but you know, there's other ones as well with a little one-liner of, you know, how they work and the fees, etc. So that is the product in a nutshell, everyone. I'm super, super proud and excited of it. I'm sure you'll love it. It's very, very useful. And now I'm going to show you where to purchase it, how to purchase it, and how to access it as well. All right, everyone. So to purchase the digital product, you have to go on my website, passiveincomeinvesting.ca. I'm on the homepage right now. If you wait long enough, you'll actually get this pop-up because the first thing you have to do is either log in or create an account before purchasing. So if you get this pop-up, you could log in or just click here on sign up and create, you know, put in your email, first name, last name, create a password, sign up. Very, very, very easy to create an account, everyone. It takes literally 2 seconds. Or if you just go on, if you don't get the pop-up for whatever reason and you're on the home page, if you click right here on my account, you'll be brought to my account page. Well, you'll be able to either log in or sign up once again. So once you sign up, you need to click on Ultimate DIY Investing Package right here. There's also a link on the webpage, on the homepage rather. You could click on this if you want. So if you click on this or this, it will bring you to the DIY package page, which is right here. So this is what's going to come up. So if you want to look at the details, if you want to see some reviews, if you actually just click here, you will be brought to this page where you could see, you know, I have my YouTube video explaining the package. You could see the over 300 reviews, and there's just, you know, basically what you're going to get and all the details. Of course, right now it's showing package V3 because the V4, while I'm filming this, hasn't come out yet, but this should all be V4 when you're looking at it, with an updated price and updated description as well. So after that, you could either, you need to click on add to cart, or let's say you don't want to get to this page. There's another option where if you're here, you simply click on the add to cart button, which you could skip. So navigating my website, I apologize. It's very, very slow. It's like 10-15 seconds between each click. We're working to try to fix this. I guess there's a lot of stuff on the website and we don't have updated templates or whatever. So once you add it to cart and you're basically stuck waiting like I am now, I'll show you the next steps after that. So gotta wait it out. Then you'll be brought to the cart page or the checkout page, right? So you'll see here you know, just like online shopping, it's very easy. The package is added here. You obviously make sure it's set to 1. And then you click on proceed to checkout, and that's where you'll get the payment instructions and all that and how to pay. So there's 3 ways to pay for this product, everyone. You could either choose Interac e-transfer, PayPal, or credit card. So using the Stripe system. So I'll show you that in a second here. So once you get here at the checkout page, the billing details should be already filled out. I'm already logged in right now with my account, so that should be already filled out here. And you'll see your order. There's going to be 1 package. Right now it's hard to see, it's transparent because it's actually still loading. It takes a while. I apologize once again. It's very slow, but at least you'll only have to do this once. So once that is done, should be another couple of seconds here. So the first payment option you have, if you want to pay with Interac, e-transfer, or PayPal, it is a manual payment that's done afterwards, okay? If you click place order, I just want you to know that nothing happens with the payment, right? So manual payment is required afterwards. If you want to pay with a credit card using the Stripe system, which is very, very reliable, you just click on this option here, put in your credit card details, and hit place order. So with this option, if you actually choose the credit card option, you will get instant access to the product. There's no need to wait for me to approve the order. There's no need for manual payment later. So if you have credit card, this is definitely the way I would go about it. But hey, if you want to use absolutely Interac, e-transfer, or PayPal, simply click on make sure this option is selected, and then you click on place order. So once again, when you click on place order, it's going to spin and it's going to, it takes some time, but eventually you'll get to another page with your order number and everything. And then you will get an email. Okay, so this is very important. If you select PayPal or e-transfer, you're going to get an email that looks exactly like this. And if you scroll down, this is where you're going to see the the e-transfer or PayPal instruction. So if you want to pay with e-transfer, here's the information here. PayPal is here for Canadian payment, or here it is for US payment. Keep in mind, of course, these are prices that are going to be updated when the new version 4 comes out. So once you manually send your payment, whatever you choose, either e-transfer or PayPal, I will get the payment and then I will approve the order within 12 hours. Only once I approve the order will you have access to the product, and I'll show you where to get the access in a second. So just remember that you do the manual payment. Sometimes it could be done in 5 minutes if I'm on the computer, right, and I get a payment, or maximum 12 hours. It's not long, but you will get another email, by the way, once the order is approved as well. All right, so now I'm going to show you how to actually access the product. Now you know where to get it, how to order it, and the payment methods. Now I'll show you how to access it as well. All right, everyone. So now I'll show you how to access the product when after your payment is done and the order is approved, or if you already purchased a prior version, either version 3 or version 2. This is how you go back and download the new version, because it's going to be associated with your account. And if you did purchase it before and you follow these steps and you still have a problem or it doesn't show up, please email me. Please reach out to me. I will do my best to fix your issue and to look into it as soon as possible. So once payment is done, how do you access it? Well, you go click on my account again. Go into the My Account screen, and all you have to do is click on Downloads. It will show up there. Also, once payment is approved, this is the first way of doing it. You'll actually get an email, and you could actually download it via the email link that you get. So after payment is done, or if you use a Stripe payment, it's automatically approved. You'll get another email saying your order is approved, and it'll give you a download link. But if ever you're having trouble, if ever you don't get that email, and of course, if you're not getting any emails, check your spam or your junk folder, everyone. I have a lot of people reaching out saying, I never get any emails. It always ends up being that the email goes in their junk folder, their spam folder. So very important, check that out. So either way, here's another way you could access it. Click on my account, click on Downloads, and then you'll be able to download by clicking on this red button here. I have 2 here because I do test orders all the time, so I'm surprised I actually only have 2 of them. But if you click on download, that is where you'll be able to access the product. Of course, what happens when you click on download really depends on how you set up your browser, right? So I have it set up that when you download anything, the file gets automatically downloaded to my desktop right here. So by the way, if ever you don't know how to do that, you just got to go in your internet settings. You go to settings here. I'm using Firefox. It's an old school browser, but if you scroll down, you'll see here the downloads. So you could actually say when if you download anything from the internet, to make it go to your desktop, for example. I have it set to desktop, and you do the same thing with Chrome. If you use Chrome, you just go to the settings here, click on settings, and it's right here, downloads, right? And here you could actually specify it. So a pretty cool trick if you're downloading stuff, you always want downloading files and you want to make it go to your desktop. So depending on where it is, that's where the file will go. And keep in mind, everyone, this is a spreadsheet file. It's an Excel file. So if the best way to open it is using Microsoft Excel. So if you have Microsoft Excel on your device, this is how you will see it. You'll see it as an Excel file. You click on it and it'll open the file. But what if you don't have Microsoft Excel? Is there a way to open it? The answer is yes, and you open it using the Google Suite. So in case you didn't know, many people have this, of course. You could create a Google account for free, to get a Gmail and everything like that. Once you actually create a Google account or a Gmail, when you're on google.ca, if you don't have an account, by the way, you'll see the option here to open an account on the top right, but I already have a Google account. I'm logged in. And when you click on this here, you'll have access to a drive. This is an online storage space that you could get for free. You actually get 15 gigs of free, which is pretty cool. So once you sign up to Google, get a free Google account, access your drive, and then all you have to do is drag the file. So you won't see it like this if you don't have Excel. You'll probably see it as, it'll be all white. But it is an XLS file that Google Sheets could open. So all you need to do is grab it, drag it here to your drive, and then you'll be able to access it. You have it right here, and then you just double click and you open it. And voila, you've opened the product, or an XLSX file, an Excel file, without using Excel. You're using Google Sheets. So once again, everything works. You could see the tabs at the bottom here. The formatting might be a little bit off and a little bit weird. You might have to, resize the columns to make everything fit properly here. You might have to resize them, but it's the same thing. You scroll to view it all, if you just hold control and you put the mouse cursor up and down, you'll be able to navigate the product no problem. You have all the tabs at the bottom, of course, just a regular Excel file. It's the same exact thing. But I mean, I'll be honest with you, it's always best to get the perfect default formatting by having Excel. But if you don't, it's okay. You could open it and you'll have access to the product and the sample portfolios and everything like that without any problem. So there you have it, everyone. That's how you access the product. Once again, you have to go in your account here, click downloads, and that's where you'll get it.